Hey guys, thanks for coming back to another educational series on how to invest in real estate. So if you have followed me till now, our journey began off by how to get financing, how to decide which strategy to implement, and where you should invest, right? So at this point, we know exactly how much we can afford, what strategy we want to implement, and where exactly we want to laser focus in our investment. So now, this week we're going to talk about the analysis portion of it. This is the bread and butter of what we do, and you should get into habit of deal analysis. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly show you what I mean by deal analysis and how I look at the deals. But before we get into it, I just want to give everyone a warning. There is no perfect deal or property out there. If you're stuck with the analysis paralysis syndrome, trying to find a unicorn property, let me just tell you, it does not exist. I was like this when I got started. I was looking everywhere, and now that I've seen thousands of deals, let me just tell you, like, it's just, if you find something that you can work with, that you're only 75 or 70% happy with it, just go with it. Because with a bit of vision, you can always turn a mediocre property to a great property, right? Okay, so an example would be like this. We find a blank canvas basement. This is actually a pretty nice one with lots of lights. But our job as a real estate investor is turn that into a finished, nice, affordable and safe living area. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's get into it. First thing as an investor that you need to ask yourself is, does the number make sense, right? So that means look at the price. The price, with this price, do I need to put in any work to this property? Meaning, do I need to renovate? If it's no, that means it's a turnkey property that you can buy and rent out right away. Then compare that to what the market value is for something that is turnkey, right? If it's yes, then you need to put in work and you need to do renovation. Then how much do I need to put into it, right? This, if you're starting out, you might not know. So you have to ask your realtor or bring a contractor through, right, before the deal is firm. And the ultimate question you need to ask is, once everything is done, what is the after repair value of something like this, and what is it compared to the market, right? So if you're doing a legal second suite and you buy for, let's say, 550, and we're putting, let's say, another 120 into it, by the time it's all said and done, it's 620. Okay, but what's the market value for legal duplex? Maybe it's 650 in your market. So that means by doing the legal conversion yourself, you're making 30,000 after the renovation is done. That's instant equity by the time you're done, right? But at the same time, let's say if you bought it for 620 and you put in another 120, 520, you put in another 120, so you're all in 640 and the market's worth 650. Is it really worth going through 3 to 6 months doing a renovation for that extra 10,000, right? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Next will be the rent, right? Is a unit vacant? Can you get a vacant position? If it's yes, that means, okay, by the time you close, depending on if you're going to renovate or not, you can rent out right away. So the question to ask is, what is the market rent in this area, right? Again, your local realtor or property manager or investor should be able to give you precisely what the market rent is going for at this moment. If it's not a vacant unit, then that means you are assuming the existing tenant, right? Then the question you need to ask is it currently stuck within an under market rent? A lot of times you come across this where the seller is selling a property and maybe the tenant's been there for a long period and they're paying significantly under market value. So it becomes a question of, okay, can you handle that, right? Or can you talk to the seller to see if they can give you vacant position if you pay them more, or if they don't want to deal with it, can you do a cash for key kind of scenario with the tenant, or can you just suck it up for a couple of years until they move out, right? So again, once you know the price and the renovation cost and the rent, use a deal analyzer and input all the income expense to get estimated cash flow and a return on investment, right? This is the spreadsheet that I use, and this is a spreadsheet that you can get it for free if you go to my website. Basically, you put in the price, you put in the rent, and then you put down all the expenses, and it'll spit you out what's your monthly cash flow and your return on investment every single year. Okay, this is a very, very useful free tool that you can have to analyze all the deals going forward. So if you don't have one, something like this, then you need to get one. Okay, so grab your free copy and ask yourself, does the deal cash flow positive, right? If it's yes, then this property will pay you every month to hold on to it. And if it's no, you'll be out of pocket to pay this property every month. Okay? So are you okay with that, right? Typically, the newer the property, the negative cash flow it will be. The closer to Toronto, it will be a negative property. So that it's a matter of personal preference. Next, things to look out for is type of building. Does this type of building match the strategy I want to implement, right? Next will be the zoning. Go to the interactive zoning map. We mentioned it before. Go to your city's interactive zoning map. Make sure that zoning allows the type of strategy you want to implement, right? And on there, you can do measurements of the lot. Check the lot, right? One of the major consideration is the parking spot. If you're trying to add units, does this lot allow us to add more parking spot? What is the square footage of the house itself, right? Even though you have two houses that are side by side, look the same, and it's on the same lot, maybe one is 1,500 square feet and another one is just less than 1,000 square feet. You cannot compare them side by side, right? They're not apple to apple. So if it's a significantly smaller home, then maybe you're stuck with a 2-bedroom rental instead of 3. Okay, when you go through a property, look for big ticket items. So even though the number works out and it's in the area that you want, go through the property to make sure there are no big ticket items. Things like roof, window, plumbing. Plumbing especially, once you go to some basement, you can just smell the sewer, right? And the moisture, right? So that's something picture will not tell. Plumbing, structural issues. When you walk in the house, there's a famous marble test. If you put the marble down, does it roll aggressively toward one side of the floor to the other, right? That means there is the joist of the floor is tilted. Electrical issues, water leaks. Is there a sign of mold? Is there asbestos, vermiculite in the attic, right? Is the property on city sewer or is it on a septic tank? This is huge cost if you find out later. Okay, and go to the street, go drive by, right? Take a walk, see what the neighborhood looks like, type of cars that are parked there, people walking around. What kind of people? Is there kids walking around, or is it just is there a lot of homeless walking around, right? Get a feel of the neighborhood. And can you add value to this property? Can I add extra bedroom, right? Can I turn maybe extra big living room into half and put a wall there and make another window for another bedroom? Can I add another independent unit, right? Can I put another unit in the basement or in the attic? Can I add a garden unit or a laneway house in my backyard, right? Can I sever the land into 2 lots? These are questions you should be asking yourself when you're doing a deal analysis. Caution, right? Go look, feel, and smell the property. Do not base your judgment solely on desktop analysis. I am guilty of this sometimes, and I can't tell you how many times I've let go a good deal that I thought it was not so good just from the picture or the listing. So always, always go check it out. You will always, a lot of times you will be surprised, right? And practice makes perfect, right? Okay, so go out there and analyze at least 10 deals a week. If you're serious and you want to get this started and you're looking real estate as a source of wealth building for long term, then go out there, analyze deals, at least 10 deals a week. If you need to rent or property, if you need the rent or property tax, ask your realtor if it's not on the listing. If you need a pro forma, maybe it's a fourplex or fiveplex, ask your realtor to get it from the seller, right? Make sure it's the current pro forma and not the potential pro forma. If you focus on your market and continue to analyze each week, you will realize a pattern, right? We mentioned about the analogy of going grocery shopping. If you're going to the same grocery store every single day and you're targeting, you're laser focused on the price of that meat or the price of that broccoli, you will know what is expensive, what is not, right? If in the seller's market, which a lot of the Ontario markets are, the listing price oftentimes isn't the true market price. Okay, you look at the price, $4.99, great, but you know what? It's just the marketing price. So get a feel of the true market value, right? Once you do this enough, you will know what this property is worth roughly without even looking at the listing price. Okay, the listing price is not a true value. Okay, so recommended exercise: go through the listings, track each property that you like, track the sold price of the listing, and just write it down. Address, how much do I think it's gonna be sold? And once it's sold, look back and see what it was actually sold and what you guessed it was sold for. And the more you do this, the more you will become expert, a local area expert, and you will get a feel of the true market value. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy this. If you don't have the deal analyzer, make sure you go to charlie.com and grab your free deal analyzer. If you like it, please subscribe. That'll be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Bye for now.